to the 1990 Women's Volleyball Championships for the Great Lakes Valley Conference. And it's going to be interesting volleyball, wall-to-wall, all night long. First match tonight will be the third-seeded team, Lewis University Flyers, versus the Ashland Eagles. They are seeded second. This is Jim Orr, and with me this evening is Lauren Jubert, former professional volleyball player and IPFW alumna, who is going to be helping us this evening with the color commentary for this first Great Lakes Valley Conference Championship match. Lauren, we haven't seen a great deal of either one of these teams tonight. Both of them came into the Mastodons. I think I have not seen Lewis yet this year. We've seen Ashland only once. Let's talk a little bit about the history of Lewis University and some of the things they've been able to do.
Well, the history of Lewis University, they've shown that they've won this conference tournament 4 years since 1981, and they have the playoff experience coming into tonight's match.
The key player for Lewis University.
Karen Lawton, senior setter, number 8. Very tough, very spark plug for Lewis University. I like to watch her play. I like to watch any setter that can run a team like she does.
She certainly has a stranglehold on the Lewis University offense, and it seems like she has been around forever. Going through the introductions now for the Ashland University Eagles.
A 5'8" junior from Norwalk, Ohio, number 10, TJ Horner. A 5'7" junior from North Lawrence, Ohio, number 15, Missy Brown. And the captain for Ashland University, a 6'2" junior from Mansfield, Ohio, number 13, Bobby Pugh. The head coach for Ashland University is Sue Martinson, and she is assisted by Michelle Gagliardi. The officials for tonight's first semifinal are Bob Michael and Dan Brandt.
Lauren, a little bit about Ashland University. Their key player seems to be everybody's all favorite for maybe even the MVP for the league.
That would be number 13, Bobby Pugh, and that's Katrina Kazan. They like to watch Bobby Pugh play. First of all, she's 6'2". It's very, out of the ordinary for a woman volleyball player, especially at this division level. She puts up a mean block. It's fun to watch her just control the net.
One of the things that we find surprising about Bobby Pugh is a lot of times in Division II volleyball especially, sometimes even in Division I, you get a 6'2" middle blocker. She plays the front row, and then when it comes time for back row play, they generally find themselves catching some splinters on the pine. But that's not the case with Bobby Pugh. She plays all the way around and is in the top 10 categorically as far as digs, blocks, kill percentage, service aces. She's got the full package.
Oh, exactly. And I think that's part of her attitude. She refuses to let defensive specialists come in for her, and she's proven that.
We're getting ready to start. And the starters for Lewis University, number 2, Gina Dale, number 12, Kim Javalis, number 11, Melissa Awalt, number 8, Karen Lawton, number 13, Colleen Concannon, and number 15, Anne-Marie Dorr. And that's a pretty strong and certainly a veteran lineup for Lewis University. Here we go.
Nice play by number 2, Scrappy.
Off the block by number 8, Tricia Workman. Point for Ashland Eagles. Tina Linder to serve.
There's that big Bobby Pugh at the net.
Lewis University came out of that smelling like a rose. You get an overpass in the middle for Bobby Pugh, she's going to bury it 9 times out of 10. Unfortunately, she hit it right where Lewis University was standing.
Exactly. She's done that twice so far. She's trying to pull the ball down. With her height, she's got to hit right over those blockers.
Net violation on Colleen Concannon. The freshman with the jump serve just catches the net.
Nice pass by Colleen.
Off the block by number 14, Lisa Lucatis. Anna Marie Dorr to serve. Service ace. Nice serve. One 1 in game 1. Semifinal match, GLVC championships. Linda with a save. Shot was right there.
Excellent shot in the corner. That's where your defense isn't going to play most of the time. And she put it right there.
Dora serves right there for service ace.
Looks like she's taking charge of this game, Jim.
Lauren, it's the same way that we started out against Ashland when we played them. Won the first 2 very easily, then Ashland decides to start playing some real defense. We should see if they can keep this thing going.
That answers your question a little bit.
15, Missy Brown with that cross-court kill. Katrina Kazal to serve.
Oh, the big girl. Big girl with the hand setting.
They did that quite a bit the first time we saw them play here, and I was really surprised that they allow their middle attacker to handle the ball as much as they do. But as we say, she's got the full package, and I guess they're just going to continue to do that.
Yeah, it showed there. She has some real nice hands for a big girl.
Lawton with the tip kill. You could feel that one coming.
She's deadly when she starts doing that.
But Karen Lawton just does a lot of nice things with the volleyball. She's getting every ball, and nobody messes with her. When she's ready to set, she just takes control of the whole match. Few cross court, a little bit long.
That time she went over the block, but it was a little deep.
Lawton continues to serve. 4-2, game 1. Lewis leads in game 1. Missy Brown with a kill off the block, side out to Ashland.
I think you're going to see Missy getting a lot of sets tonight, Jim. So far, she's just going up swinging. I'd keep giving it to her.
Bobby Pugh, 6'2" junior serves. Bob Michael calling an illegal set. Side out to Lewis University. Number 14, Lisa Lukaitis to serve. 6-foot freshman from Darien, Illinois.
Nice pass by Bobby Pugh.
One of the things we've learned about Lewis University in the last 3 or 4 years that I've been associated with the program is that you got to outpatience them. You can't get in a hurry. Just take your time, keep the ball coming back. Because they're like playing against them is like playing ping pong against the wall. The ball just keeps coming back.
Exactly. The patience is a big key in volleyball. You can't rush any side outs or points. You just got to keep playing heads up ball.
Great shot. Tricia Workman with another kill. 3-4. Ashland trails here in game 1. Cross court kill for Colleen Concannon.
Nice swing by the freshman. Excellent set by Karen Lawton.
Kim Jervis with a tough serve.
We had a little low set on that one there.
Katrina Kaza just couldn't get underneath the ball to do anything with it. I think one of the key matchups we'll have to look for in this match, timeout by Ashland University. The quarterbacks of these two teams, you got a senior quarterback for Lewis University in Karen Lawton. You got a freshman quarterback in Katrina Kazaa from Stowe, Ohio for Ashland University. And even though they've got Bobby Pugh, the big gunner in the middle and everywhere else on the court, they set her all the time. I think that's going to be the key, is whether or not we can get the ball often enough to Bobby Pugh.
I agree with you totally, Jim. You got the inexperienced freshman running Ashland, but doing a real nice job at it, and then you got the very experienced senior, two-time GLVC Player of the Year, Karen Lawton, running the Lewis Flyers.
Kim Jervis will start the game again. Lewis serves. Lawton runs that one down. A little bit of indecision.
Well, it's trying to spike in the back of her home player's head.
Miss hit by Lisa Lukaitis. Side out to Ashland. Service ace. For TJ Horner. 5'8" junior from Norwalk, Ohio. And Marie Dorr just couldn't really with that one. 5-6. Ashland trails game one.
Number 10, TJ, is kind of a sleeper player. She'll go back and hurt you just like she's doing now. Kind of a couple serves that you can't pass and score 2 points on.
And Marie Dorr, cross-court kill. Side out to Lewis. Into the game for Lewis University. Number 2, Gina Dale. Another kill for Concannon. Karen Lockwood says she's so key to their team, offensive and defensively. Certainly shows on that shot. Great dig. James Strong. Off the block. Concannon again. 8-5. Lewis takes control of game one.
That's an excellent shot by Colleen there. Wipe it off the block. Defense of Ashland doesn't have a chance to play.
Lanai Davidson delivers a six-pack to Lewis. Side out. Tina Linder to serve for Ashland, trailing game one, 5-8. GLVC Championship semifinals. Marie Dorr gave it everything she had, and Bobby Pugh just said, take it back. I don't want it over here. Great block.
Jim, I think with a big girl like that up in the front row, you got to cover tight. When the hitter on your side is getting ready to hit, you got to get up right behind her and cover, so if it is blocked, you can play it right back up.
Ball hit wide for Lewis University. Point to Ashland, 7-8, game one.
Ashland is showing that patience that you mentioned earlier. Chipping away at Lewis Flyers. Excellent set by Karen.
Concannon in the Bobby Pugh's block. Back again.
Got a little trouble.
Pugh with the power tip. Run down by Lewis. Good defense. There's another tip. They're not going to get that one up. That's surprising to go as tall as Bobby Pugh doesn't put a little more force behind those tips. But boy, that was a beautiful touch on that one.
Well, I think, she's got to mix up her shots. She hits the ball hard, then she's got to roll it here, tip it there, so she's not predictable. She gets predictable, then she's ineffective offensively, and they need her to be effective.
Timeout for Lewis University Flyers. It is 8-8 with Ashland in control of the volleyball. Game one, first semifinal match of the GLVCs. I think one thing I noticed, Lauren, on that last exchange is that when they move the ball quickly to the outside, Bobby Pugh finds herself facing the opposite bleachers rather than facing the net. That could cause them some real problems. It might be something that if Karen's able to do it, Karen Lawton is able to get it out there quick enough, the 31s and the shoot sets to the outside might be the most effective way to stop Bobby Pugh.
I agree. She starts shooting a quicker set outside, speeding the offense up a little bit. The big middle blocker, Bobby Pugh, doesn't have time to get outside and block. Therefore, you have a one-on-one, or she's just not in position to block well.
Tina Linder to serve for Ashland University after the timeout. Mishandled pass. There's a free ball. Let's have some fun with transition. Yep. Well, Lewis was digging in on that free ball pass, expecting the ball to be just buried at him. And Bobby Pugh did a beautiful job of just tipping the ball right on the line. Linda to serve. Ashland leads 9-8.
Nice play by Ashland.
Anne-Marie Dorr finds Bobby Pugh at home again.
Hitting that ball right into her hands, Jim. She's got to realize that Bobby is in the middle and the hit down the line.
And then that again. It may not have been a good choice for Lawton to set number 12 in the back row. Her arm swing's not the type of arm swing that's going to be very effective from outside the 3-meter line.
We had a miscommunication play there.
Point for Ashland. Linder continues to serve, 12-8. Ashland taking control now in game one. Overpass, still alive, double hit on Pugh. Slide out to Lewis University.
That last play we saw, Jim, where Karen set the ball, no one was around to take it. Like I said, it was a miscommunication in the play, and there are actually plays in volleyball where you run a certain offense. Each hitter has a certain set, and it's a play.
Whoa. Hello.
Nobody home in the corner. I think we're seeing Bobby go over the top now.
Trisha Workman to serve for Ashland. Ball hit long, no touch. Dora trying to find the back corner.
I think we're finding Lewis in the reverse role here. They need to be patient. Chip away back at Ashland.
13-8, game one, first semifinal match of GLVC Volleyball Championships. College Cable Access Center, Become a College Cable Access Channel 6 program guide subscriber. To get a program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to College Cable Access Center, Indiana University, Purdue University at Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805-1499, or call us at 481-6582. Trisha Workman, the 5'9" senior, back for Ashland Eagles to serve. 13-8, game one. Ashland, game one. They're awake. Lawton outside. Boy, Pugh got down underneath that one for a 6'2" girl. She did a beautiful job.
Ashland's playing very steady right now, very steady volleyball, and that's what you need to do. Make no mistake.
Chip by Pugh. Game one goes to Ashland University, 15-8.
Ashland University did an excellent job of having patience and playing steady and then controlling the ball through the last half of the first game, and just took Lewis by surprise, I think.
Well, Lewis is a much different team than we've seen in the past. They've always been able to play some pretty good defense, but never the kind of defense they're playing this year, much more aggressive, defensive-oriented team than we've seen in the past. Last 3 or 4 years, it's been a lot of offense. They certainly still have the offensive power, but they're a team in transition, and certainly that's indicative of the type of year they've had, sort of a roller coaster. We're looking forward to game 2. Now, I'd say the steady play of the Ashland Eagles has certainly compensated for the experience of the Lewis University Flyers.
We keep mentioning the size of Bobby Pugh and the stuff she does for a girl her size. I'm sure she probably gets tired of hearing over and over, 6'2" girl shouldn't be able to do this, shouldn't be able to do that. And I think that's probably why she is doing all this, is because she refuses to let herself think that she is 6'2".
Well, she certainly did a lot of nice things in the first game. Getting down on your knees and setting a ball from that position for a girl of her size requires a great deal of agility. Certainly, it also involves a great deal of strength. Bobby Pugh certainly, as we said earlier in the telecast, has got the full package. She's got everything it takes to be a successful player, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her career extend beyond the collegiate ranks. She's got everything it takes to be very, very successful. And on top of that, Sue Martin says she has pretty good work ethic too, so that makes it even better.
That makes a lot of difference. To go beyond the level of collegiate, you need a very good work ethic. You need to bust your buns, so to speak, all the time.
And we're looking forward to game 2. Ashland University winning game 1, 15-8. And Ashland University will be starting the same lineup as they started with in game 1. We've got number 3, Tina Linder. Number 6, Katrina Kazal. Number 10, TJ Horner. Number 13, Bobby Pugh. Number 8, Tricia Workman. And this should be an interesting thing to see how Lewis reacts to that first game. They were pretty much in control. All of a sudden, the floor fell out from underneath them.
It's like the witch's well at Cedar Point.
There you go.
Well, a nice thing about volleyball, though, is you go back to zeros and you start all over again in the next game.
And here we go, starting all over again at the Mastodons GLVC Championships semifinal match. First semifinal match of the evening. Lewis University's Karen Lawton will start game 2. Also starting in game 2 for Lewis University is number 13, Colleen Buchanan. 15, Anne-Marie Dorr. 14, Lisa Nikaitis. 12, Kim Gervais. And number 10, Beth Lomar. Well, they certainly have enough size on that team. 6-footers all across the board, except for Lawton, 5'7".
Well, that doesn't hurt. Have those big girls up front, short girls in the back.
There you go. Lawton serves. Ball hit wide by Bobby Pugh. Point. Lewis. They lead game 2, 1-0. Good look at the senior setter from Lewis.
You got to wonder what's going on in Karen's mind right now, the senior for Lewis. This is her last appearance in the conference tournament. I think she might turn things around for him.
Number 12, Kim Gervais. Shot down the middle. Point. 2-0. Game 2.
I think that was 4 hits. The fans want to call for it.
Bob Michael says they got a hand on it. Doesn't make a whole lot of difference. The ball still falls for a point. 3-0. Lewis jumps out to a quick lead here in game 2. Karen Lawton, senior setter, Lewis University, serve.
Nice play.
Well, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out if you want to stop a rally where you're going to have to take that ball. Katrina Kazal took it right where she needed to take it, and that's Bobby Pugh. 14, Lisa Lakaitis. Great shot.
Lewis coming out steady just like they did in game 1. Let's see if they can hang on to it.
Lakaitis to serve. Ace. 4-0. Lewis. Game 2. Lakaitis serves. Net violation. Live by the top spin, die by the top spin.
Exactly. Well, it's not too bad to go back there and crack on the ball like that. First serve, she gets a point. Second serve in the net, but she's going back serving aggressive, and that's what you need to do at a championship tournament. Ooh, look like a backcourt attacker.
Oh, missed it. Ball set outside. Missy Brown. She gets a kill. And a point. Zara serve. Net.
Like I mentioned earlier, it's nice to go back and serve aggressively, but it'd be better off to serve a little bit deep where the other team has to make the decision whether it's in or out rather than serve it in the net when no decision's made.
Got a net violation on Bobby Pugh, looks like. Point to Lewis University. They lead here in game 2, 5-1.
From up here, it looked like she went underneath and said it was in the net. But Dan Brandt's the expert official.
Lawton with a great save. Out of bounds. Good try on the save by Beth Lomar in the game for Ashland's number 14, Lanai Davidson. Get the ball to us, still alive.
Great hustle by Lewis.
Emery Dorr with collar tip for side out.
We talked about that inexperience and experience in the setters. Right there was a poor choice in the set by the freshman setter.
Substitution in for Lewis University is number 2, Jill Durham. Gina Dale. Ball hit long by Missy Brown. Point Lewis, 6-1, game 2. Overpass. Kill for Emery Dorr. 7-1, game 2. Ashland won game 1, 15-8. Much different Lewis University squad coming out here in game 2.
Well, Lewis is definitely taking advantage of Ashland's errors. They're capitalizing and scoring points on them. That's what you need to do, and they're definitely doing that.
Tune in Saturday, December 1st, as College Cable Access Channel 6 presents live coverage of NCAA women's basketball. Next, University of Indianapolis take on the IPFW Lady Dogs at 6 o'clock p.m. Immediately following that game at 8 o'clock, catch the NCAA men's basketball with Saginaw Valley State Cardinals taking on your IPFW Mastodons. Join us as we bring you our first college basketball doubleheader of the season, right here on College Access Channel 6.
I tell you right now, Ashland is just not playing the same game they did the first game, Jim, and it's really hurting them. That's why I say it's nice to start at zeros in the second game.
Zaw outside. Off the block.
Real girl set outside. Nice dig by Lewis. Playing great defense right now.
A little bit of mistiming play there.
Well, it's a little miscommunication again in the play.
Zaw and Davidson have to get their timing connected. 9-1, game 2.
As a setter, you need to know where your hitters are all the time and be able to see them all the time. Apparently she didn't.
Missy Brown off the block for a kill on the side out to Ashland. Number 7 back into the lineup, Jane Strong. 5'8" sophomore from Louisville, Ohio. Blaine Concannon taking that ball. Nice shot, just back to serve. That shot was doomed right from the very beginning. Mistossed the ball, tried to make an adjustment, and there wasn't going to be a whole lot of success on that. Corner to serve.
Nice pickup by Colleen. Scrappy volleyball going on right now. Trouble.
And I Davidson, the 6'4" freshman from Holland, Ohio, walks the ball down.
You put that ball anywhere near the net on a big girl like that, we're going to pay for it.
2-9. Ashland trails game 2. Great save by Bobby Pugh.
Here comes Ashland again. Not going to die.
Bobby Pugh did a beautiful job of backsetting that ball. But Ashland could not convert. It's a side out to Lewis. And Marie Dorr back to serve. Concannon with a cannon.
She's unleashing everything she has.
Oh. Communication is everything in volleyball.
It sure is. I would say it's probably 99% of the game. And there again, we had a miscommunication.
10-2, Lewis in control. Lisa Lukaitis gets the ball down the line. Right by Katrina Kazaa.
That's another freshman we have in the match tonight. She's doing a nice job.
So to say, Spador, timeout to Ashland. They trail here in game 2, 12-2.
I think we're seeing a major turnaround here, Jim, just like we did when Ashland played IPFW a few weeks ago. IPFW came out strong, won the first 2 games, just landslide. And then the next 2 games after that, Ashland wins those by a landslide.
Well, I don't think that either one of these teams, and it's been typical of play throughout the entire Great Lakes Valley Conferences, the type of players they have are not going to just roll over and play dead. Ashland won the first game quite easily, but you can pretty much count the fact that Lewis University has been a champion now 4 times, and they're not going to play dead. There's a lot of pride involved in this, and Lewis has not had a great year. They're looking to get some redemption by winning this thing. Dora serves.
Lewis and IPFW both looking for their 5th GLVC championship.
Tricia Weckman off the block for a kill. Tina Linder in the serve. For Ashland University.
Out to the freshman.
On the line. Great shot by Lisa Lukaitis.
Another 6-footer. As a coach for Lewis, you have to love that you got a outside hitter, 6 foot to begin with, and then being a freshman, you've got to be looking for the next 3 years to be stupendous.
Great play by Lawton. Lukaitis keeps the ball alive. Great rally. Lawton outside. Off the block, it's alive.
I think you're right. We do have a rally. Ooh.
Mishandled
Side out to Ashland University.
by Kim Gervais.
Substitution
Back in the game for Ashland. Missy Brown
Number 8, Trisha Workman.
replacing Jane Strong. Trisha Workman back to serve.
Once again, we see Bobby Pugh trying to pull the ball down. Being that tall, you can't pull the ball down, or you bring your 6'2" height back down to 5'8", 5'9".
Pugh sneaks that one across. And a point for Ashland, 3-12, game 2. Claire Lockwood sees something she's not real pleased with, calls an immediate timeout. Rather quick timeout at 12-3.
I don't think she wants Ashland to get a momentum going here, and could be a good timeout on her part.
It's interesting to see that the girls from Lewis University are quick enough and defensively smart enough that as soon as Bobby Pugh handles that ball in the middle, they're just screaming to the outside, and they're planted there waiting for that ball. Bobby Pugh might be good at serve occasionally to reach up there and use that 6'2" height and just slap the ball over.
You know, one nice thing that a big girl in the middle does for you, and it's kind of a decoy. The other team kind of focuses in on her. She drives for a quick set in the middle of one ball, and you set it outside, and you usually have one-on-one.
Missy Brown slips one by the block. Point, Ashland, 4-12. They're trailing here in game 2. They've won game 1, 15-8. Good serve, overpass.
Nice play by number 3.
Bobby Pugh buries that one. Well, you got to be real quick to dig that shot.
Exactly. Either real quick or just in the right spot at the right time.
Give the ball to Door in the back row.
Incredible dig by Trisha Workman.
Gonzaga gets the ball back to the franchise. Bobby Pugh buries another one.
Those kind of plays that Trisha Workman just made are going to help your team tremendously. Not only is it score a point off, but you got a nice momentum flow going here.
Good shot by left-hander, number 10, Beth Wohlmeyer. Another 6-footer.
And then Beth comes in and spoils the whole thing.
Lisa Lukaitis to serve. Bobby Pugh with the shot.
Freshman setter to the senior middle hitter.
Lawton to the backside. Down Kim Gervais. Line shot scores. Tied out to Lewis. They lead game 2, 12-6. Ball served long.
Excuse me, that's a junior middle hitter, Bobby Pugh, not a senior.
Back in the game for Ashland is number 14, Lanai Davidson. Lewis has a tendency to do exactly what they're doing right now, Lauren. The US we've watched them is they have a tendency to go on hold for 4 or 5 points, and that may be a terminal mistake on their part this evening. It's a net violation on number 14, Lanai Davidson.
I think you're right, Jim. The first game you saw him jump out to a big lead. Almost satisfied with that. Let Ashland come right back when they were ahead 9-2. And then you saw Colleen jump serve one in the net, and from then on, Lewis, hasn't been the full team they have the first 9 points.
Lawton back outside for Buchanan. Ball falls off the block and into the court for a point. Gina Dale back to serve. 5'5" freshman. 13-6, game 2.
Karen Lawton seems to be feeding the freshman quite a bit.
Missy Brown with another kill. Missy Brown's having a great match so far. Doing a nice job. Jane Strong back into the match for Ashland University. 5'8" sophomore from Louisville, Ohio, serves. Hit that ball just long. We got a net violation on Ashland. Again, it's on Davidson. Looks could kill. Dave Grant would have been dead a long time ago, but nonetheless it stands.
Well, when it comes conference championship time, every call is key.
Great rallies, good defense here, great anticipation. That ball's hit long, there's a touch. Point to Lewis, 14-6, game 2.
I don't know if we're going to see Ashland pull this one off.
Off the block.
A joust at the net.
Ball's long, no touch.
No touch.
Side out to Ashland. TJ Horner back to serve. TJ, a 5'8" junior from Norwalk, Ohio. Service ace. That'll make you feel good.
There's TJ again, quietly picking you off one by one.
Going right at the senior. Emery Dorth, great hands on that defensive play. Ball hit long, no touch. TJ Horner scores another point. 8-14, game 2. Ashland leads the match 1-0.
Nice dig by TJ.
Nice save by Gina Dale, but the ball is going to sail long on the touch.
One by one, here comes Ashland again.
Here we are at 9-14. Just when you thought it was safe to relax a little bit.
I think that's what Lewis is thinking right now, Jim. Just when you thought it was safe to relax, here comes Ashland. They're not the type of team that you can relax on.
Well, Ashland certainly has enough weapons in it. You can't go on cruise control in this league, and it's not going to certainly get you a league championship when you do. But it may be enough to wake them up. TJ Horner will be back to serve. Ashland Eagles trailing game 2, 9-14, leading in the match, 1-0. Good shot at the senior setter, Karen Lawton. In the serve. Whoa. Renai Davidson is planted on that one. She put a few shingles on that roof. 10-14, and here comes Ashland. Substitution for Lewis University. Number 7 in the bar into the match, replacing Jim Dale.
That could have been mistaken. Ashland is coming right back at Lewis.
Hunter serves, Lawton tip.
Standing right there is Bobby Peters.
Fisher Workman. Hook shot down the line, just wide. Emery Dorr, that's what you want to see you back there serving for the game.
There's a chance for the game.
Give it to the senior. Just a Workman couldn't quite get that one high enough. And Lewis University takes game 2, 15-10. There's not a whole lot of difference in these two teams. I guess that's why they're 2 and 3 in the league.
Exactly. I think we could be in for a 5-game series tonight. Right?
Well, Lewis has brought themselves a great crowd. And that's one of the things that's nice about the proximity of the teams within the GLVC is they're all close enough they can come to the championships, and Lewis always has a good following. A very proud volleyball and athletic tradition, top to bottom, at Lewis University. Okay, 1-1.
1-1.
Game
okay.
3.
Back
We're
to the
starting
drawing
over
board.
again. Where do we go from here? Put yourself in Sue Martinson's case, Lauren. You've been a player, you've been a coach. What are you going to tell your kids, and where are you going to go? What strategies are you going to throw at them?
Well, right now, I think they had a little momentum going there towards the end of the second game. I think they need to look at that as positive right now. Keep that momentum going into this third game. Stop making those silly mistakes, and then just keep driving it, Lewis. Keep driving. We've seen in game one that Lewis will break if you keep pressure on him.
Okay, what about Karen Lockyer? Lewis University just come back from a, well, let's call it what it was. It was the first game trouncing to win game two, not easily. They tried to make a war out of it, but now you're back to 1-1. Where do you go to from here? Where are you going to take your team? What are you going to tell them?
I think we have to stick with the same thing we just told old Ashland. They have to play steady ball right now. I'd take Karen aside maybe and say keep feeding Colleen. Keep feeding. Anne Marie. Just keep feeding these girls, and you need to keep playing that tough defense that they started in game two.
I think with, as we mentioned also in game two, the speed of the ball to the outside is what's going to be absolutely necessary to keep Ashland's Bobby Pugh and the other middle blocker, Lanai Davidson, from camping on the outside and waiting for things to happen. It'll be interesting to see if indeed the strategies and actions and reactions that the coaches have brought for us here in game three will actually take place. You got two franchise players. Anne-Marie Dorr, despite the fact that we like to say that Colleen Concannon is going to be their franchise of the future, if you're going to rest the chance to the championship on one player, it's got to be Dorr. She's been here before. And the same thing with Bobby Pugh. These two ladies have to go to another level and perform even better than they have already.
I agree. You have a senior out of Anne Marie and a senior out of Karen Lawton. I think we should look at those two right now to take Lewis to the victory. And then on Ashland's side, we got Bobby Pugh and the freshman setter.
Tina Linda serves for Ashland in game three, 1-1. Great save. Well, Lawton was down on the floor playing that ball.
Yeah.
It's a nice job.
A little wet spot down there. I think she kind of slipped the last second before she played.
Good look at number 3, Tina Linder, 5'4" senior from Norwalk. She serves 1-0, game 3.
We have another rally going. Oh, tight again, Bobby Pugh.
Again, it looked like Lewis University was almost paralyzed when Bobby Pugh went up there expecting the ball to be hit hard, and she tips the ball beautifully into the open spot. Linda to serve, leading game 3, 2-0. Number 2, Beth Lohmeyer with the kill off the block. Number 14, Lisa Lukaitis back to serve. 6-foot freshman from Darien High School. Top spin finds Bob in the net.
Even though the score is 2-0, Jim, I don't think you can afford to do that right now. Not coming out of game 2 with a victory. You gotta keep playing steady ball.
Well, that's pretty much what I was thinking. You come out here, you want to establish something. That's not the way to do it. Right there is a 2-point swing because you got a service ace for Ashland University by Paul Lemire. Ball on the line. Lohmeyer buries another one. Great pass. There's a shot. Bobby Pugh finds the corner. Number 6. Katrina Kaza back to serve.
We're seeing some big blocking going on by Ashland.
Another tip by Bobby Pugh. Boy, she has those line shots on those tips down to an art.
I can tell you as a player, Jim, a big girl like that, you're on the other side playing defense. She goes up, and majority of her ball she's tipping. You're very frustrated on defense. You're like, hit the ball. But the rules of volleyball, it just says the ball has to touch the ground. It doesn't say how, it just has to touch the ground.
Jenny Dale into the lineup for Lewis University to serve.
Nice play. Again, another nice play.
Well, those defensive specialists are earning their money tonight.
The point for Lewis University. Gina Dale still serving.
Gina Dale to serve. In the net.
Service error side out. To Ashland, substitution number 14, Lene Davidson. Into the lineup, number 3, Tina Linder. Number 13, Bobby Pugh to
Bobby
serve.
Pugh back to serve. Well, the block was there. They just missed time. Concannon.
4 hits for Lewis.
I think I figured out what it is, Jim. I think it's just the right side of the court here. That
Timeout.
It's got to be it. It's 5-1 now. Ashland's Eagles leading the Flyers of Lewis University. Well, these Ashland Eagles are pretty tough to figure out sometimes. Had a talk with Temple Swoverman about her performance this year.
Still serving for the Lady Eagles, number 13, Bobby Pugh.
Get to that in just a second. Ashland's out first on the court. Bobby Pugh. To start play after the timeout.
Lift on the day.
Ashland's coming out with a ball of fire in game 3.
Still serving.
And Missy Brown had that one read all the way. Just put a roof on him. Another great block. Ball never cleared the net. Missy Brown didn't capitalize on that shot. Side out to Lewis University. Ashland leads here in game 3, 6-1.
I think we're seeing in the third game Ashland make error-free volleyball again.
Net violation. TJ Horner.
Spoke too soon.
That could have gone either way. Concannon to serve. And there's a subtle change right there. She's not jumping these.
Well, I think we saw in game 2 they got ahead 9-1. Colleen said, "Well, we're happy with 9-1. Why don't I go ahead and jump serve and coast the rest of the way to 15?" And you can't do that. You can't rest. It's proven both sides so far.
Lana Davidson put a roof again on Anne-Marie Dorr. Ashland serves. Jane Strong generally is a very steady service, but not in that particular case. And that's just, again, it's not just one service error that's going to kill you. It's the time that it happens.
Exactly.
Great shot by number 10, TJ Horner. She takes that ball down the line and she'll serve.
There are a lot of rules, Jim, when you should not make a service error. One time is really not better than another time. It's after a timeout. It's after the other team just served an error. It's after a big rally, so forth.
Katrina Kazaa breaks some glass. The ball trickles through the window. Karen Lawton will be serving for Lewis University. Hugh runs that one down.
Lift on the day.
Lift on Lewis. On the dig. Side out to Ashland.
Substitution.
That's a good point. We're talking about service when you can make an error. Now, I suppose, as you said, there's no real good time, but there are other times when it's less crucial. And it's a good thing for a lot of young players to understand is the service laws. Number 14, Lisa Lukaitis in the net. 7-2, Ashland leads game 3.
Well, do we want to make a bet right now? We go 5 or?
No way. Number 12, Kim Gervais. Deep shot for a kill, inside out. Lisa Lukaitis to serve. That might be one of those times.
I think that was. You're behind 7-2. I think you need to serve in the court.
Paul Lemire to serve for Ashland. And Cannon takes the ball down the line, and it's wide. No touch, and there's a point.
They're asking for a touch.
Lemire back to serve. It's 8-2. Service ace. That's 2 in the match for Lemire.
Service ace for number 5, Paul Lemire.
Just like a service error, it's not a good time for a shackle pass. And that was won by number 15, Anne Marie.
Missy Brown with the cross-court kill. Great shot into the game for Lewis University. Number 3, Laura Ames, junior middle hitter from Yorkville, Illinois. Lemire to serve.
I tell you, if I was setting for Ashland right now, just like I said in game 1, I'd make sure Missy Brown saw a lot of sets.
Well, she's got the hot hand. Lawton with a low set.
Oh. Thank you.
Side out to Lewis. Number 12, Kim Gervais to serve.
Paul Lemire has not done a whole lot wrong. Sometimes that's going to happen. Great pass.
4 hits on Ashland.
Looked like Kazal looped that set just a little bit.
Bobby Pugh's big, but she's not that big.
Service error again.
Service error, side out to Ashland.
Kim Gervais.
Number 6, Katrina Kaza to serve.
From Chicago Lane Tech High School. Ball long. There's a touch.
There's a touch.
Side out the block to number 15.
Side out.
Side out Lewis and a substitution.
Lewis back in the game for Lewis. Number 2, Gina Dale. They trail here in game 3, 10-3.
That shot right there, Jim, is hard to see on TV where the hitter hits the ball kind of at a flat contact, hits the top of the blocker's fingers, and then carries it away where defense has no chance to get it. Actually, that is a fantastic shot. It's not pretty, doesn't go straight down, it's not a crowd pleaser, but it's one of the best shots in the game.
He with the serve for Ashland. Cannon hits it deep. You're not going to win a whole lot of ball games against Ashland University with 5 service errors, and that's exactly what Lewis has done in this game. And again, it's, there are a lot of games where you can have 5 service errors and it's not going to kill you, but it's the crucial times that they choose to pick them.
Yeah, I'm probably an expert on that. This year, head coach on high school, and I could tell you that service errors did cost us a lot of games. We had one match where we had 16 service errors, and you just can't do that against some good teams.
Still serving.
Can't do that against too many teams, period. Our next live telecast will be Friday, November 16th at 6 o'clock p.m. when College Cable Access Channel 6 brings to you coverage of men's NCAA basketball. Tune in and see IPFW host the men's tip-off tournament. See teams such as St. Francis College, Indiana Tech, and Huntington College come to IPFW and take on the Mastodons. Catch all the action in NCAA basketball right here on College Cable Access Channel 6.
Nice shot by Anne Marie.
Anne Marie Dorr just takes that shot cross court, and That's got to be where they're going to have to go. They got to go with the experience. It's got to be senior to senior, and let's get this thing back under control. Concannon to serve.
Out to TJ.
If Lawton could have pulled that one off, she had everybody standing around watching.
Substitution number 7, James Strong.
It was a great choice, just missed it.
15, Missy Brown.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Karen Lawton is playing a little passive right now. I haven't seen her really take control of Lewis like Karen can.
That's another service error. Bunch of them in this match. Got some real tension going on here. Door to serve.
Nice pass by TJ.
Off the block. Lawton back outside. Touch and a point.
There's that shot again. I think that's one of the best shots in volleyball. And it's not an easy shot to make.
Emery Door to serve. And Davidson takes the ball down. Again, you do not have to take the ball hard to be able to put the ball down for a point. Great shot. TJ Horner to serve.
It's just putting it down where they're not. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Lisa Lukaitis with the shot. Not sure whether they got the block or not.
Number 10, TJ Horner still serving.
TJ Horner to serve.
Excuse me. We talk about the inexperience of the freshman setter for Ashland, number 6, Katrina Kazaa. But I'm looking forward to seeing her play the next 3 years.
TJ Horner just took them up to 13-4 here in Game 3, and they've just been quietly moving up. Into the lineup for Lewis is number 11, Melissa Awalt, a 5'8 junior from Lockport, Illinois. And Karen Lockyer is just looking for somebody to get this thing back under control.
Ball doesn't go, side out to Lewis.
Paul Lemire tried to roll that shot across, but didn't quite have enough control of the ball. Slide out, consequently, to Lewis University. And a service ace.
Service ace for
Emery Door.
Timeout for Ashland
Karen Lockyer
University.
serving.
Ashland leading in Game 3, 13-5.
Game 3, 13-5. Ashland leads. Games are tied at 1-1. Ashland seemed to take pretty much control of Game 1. Lewis took control of Game 2, and Ashland is just dominating here in Game 3, just pretty much doing whatever they want.
Exactly. I'm going to go out on the line here, and I'll bet you that Lewis wins the 4th game.
You just like the right side of the court, don't you?
For Lewis University, the captain of the Lady Flyers, number 8, Karen Lawton.
Karen Lawton to serve. Trailing here in Game 3, 5-13. Great defensive play.
Fantastic play by Anne-Marie.
Door runs that one down.
I think she wants to win this game.
I'm not sure that ball wasn't out of bounds. Tip, and it's still alive.
We got a rally.
And Davidson again with that touch shot down the line.
Kill off the back set from number 14, Lene Davidson. Sister Katrina Gaza.
The whole key to that last play was the first pass by Bobby Pugh. That free ball came over. She used her hand, set it right up to the target. Setter can do anything with it, and the blockers are a little confused on the other side.
Tina Linder serves. Ball never cleared the net.
Shot doesn't go. A point for
By Melissa Awalt.
Serving for game number 3.
Tina Linder.
Substitution for Lewis.
Well, that was a late whistle. I wasn't sure they were going to get that one off. Number 10, Beth Lomar into the game, replacing number 11, Melissa Awalt. Tina Linder to serve for the game.
This could be it. Incredible dig by number 3.
Bobby Pugh said, well, if I can't do it with one, I'll take it down with 2, and a little bit stronger. Lewis could not deal with it. They win Game 3, 15-5. And take a 2-1 lead in the match. Okay, let's play devil's advocate again, Coach.
I tell you, the way it's up and down right now, I agree with you that Lewis has to take Bobby Pugh out of the game. Somehow they've got to isolate her out of the picture. They've got to run that quicker offense, but they need the passes to do that. So what do you do?
Well, normally I would say that a lot of the responsibility, of course, in the offense is going to be on how well the team is passing. But Lewis is not passing that badly. But I would go along with what you said earlier, Lauren, in that I don't see the aggressive, take charge, win at any cost attitude that is standard operating procedure for Karen Lawton. She just seems to be not quite in the match all the time. And she's not going up after those left-handed kills that she's so very good at. And she is not certainly moving the ball across the net as quickly as she possibly could.
I agree. Right now, as a coach, I'd be taking those three seniors aside. Say, hey, this is it, ladies. You know, do or die situation right here. Let's go at them. You know, this is your last year. Let's show them, you know, who deserves to win this ball game.
On the other hand, you have to give Ashland University a lot of credit. You would look at the stats and say, if we stop Bobby Pugh, we stop Ashland. And Bobby has been effective, but she has not been the whole show. I think Missy Brown and Tricia Workman have just done yeoman's job in taking some of the pressure off of Bobby Pugh. They start camping on Bobby, and all of a sudden the outside's wide open again. And the scrappy defense we see here tonight is so typical of the defense you see played in the GLVC, which is one of the reasons why it makes it one of the top Division II volleyball conferences in the United States.
We are seeing Ashland play a lot more team volleyball here tonight, with Lewis trying to rely upon a few key players. I think these key players get going, then you'll bring the whole team together, and that's what Lewis needs right now. Then again, Lewis is on the right side this time, so anything could happen.
Well, it seems to definitely have an impact on where you're playing tonight. Ashland University again is out first. Coach Sue Martinson's crew playing very well. But they've been playing very well all year. Martinson says this is the best team she's ever coached, and that's saying a lot with some of the teams she's had in the past. This is not the first 20-game squad she's had, but she certainly has some good players top to bottom.
She's had 10 out of the 12 years she's been at Ashland, 20 wins.
She knows what it's all about. She knows what it takes to win, but she has not won a league championship yet. She's looking for her first. Karen Lawton, 5'7" senior, Lewis University, to start off game 4. Right away, Kazan goes back to Bobby Pugh and says, let's get this thing started. I'd rather serve than receive.
And again, you know, it's exactly what you talked about, Jim. It took 2 other hits before it got to Bobby. So it took a nice pass and a nice set. So we are seeing a lot of team play by Ashland tonight.
Beth Lohmeyer takes the ball through the block. Finds a bit of a hole. Lisa Lakaitis to serve. And Bobby Pugh finishes that off.
We also talked about it earlier how Bobby does step in and set the ball quite a bit. If we can serve tough from Lewis, make bad passes, then Bobby's going to end up setting. She's out of the offense, and you're pretty much taking care of her.
Well, another kill off the block by Beth Lohmeyer and a slide out to Lewis. 0-0, game 4. Ashland leads the match 2-1. That's one of the toughest balls for a setter to have to play.
When it's tight like that, and a good distance from you. There's not much you can do except for get low and hope it pops out of the net so you can play it up.
Lewis read the tip by Pugh. And a lift and another point to Lewis University. They lead here in game 4, 2-0. The right side of the court begins to take its effect. Missy Brown takes the ball through the block. She's having a career night. She's doing a very nice job. Bobby Pugh back to serve for Ashland. They trail here in game 4, 0-2. Emery Dorr off the block of TJ Horner. Side out. Gina Dale back into the lineup.
I think we're starting to see a big crowd develop out here tonight.
5'4" freshman to serve for Lewis University. They lead 2-0 game 4. Kazal outside. TJ. Oh, what a shot. Beautiful angle shot.
Sweet shot inside. Looks like Colleen got hidden behind the block a little bit on defense, and TJ took advantage, hit a very sharp angle inside the 10-foot line.
Jane Strong to serve. That's where you need your senior to step in and say, I'm going to pass every ball, not opening up. Jane Strong with the service ace. 1-2. Lewis leads game 4. Miscommunication again. Right. Hard tip by Dorr. Ashland's unable to convert. Point. 3-1. Lewis leads game 4.
We keep talking about freshmen, seniors, juniors, sophomores. I don't think necessarily, we're looking at them physically to do the job, but mentally, and that's a big part of this game, especially in the tournament. It's a big mental toughness.
Well, case in point, Kazad's freshman sets the ball outside in that last rally, and she was not able to get the ball high enough for Bobby Pugh to be able to do anything with. So consequently, here we look at the score of 1-4 in game 4, and Ashland is down. And I'm not sure if the right side of the court, or if it's that 4-foot drop-off on the left side that's had any effect. I can't figure this one out.
I think it's that drop-off.
Ashland University will receive from Cannon, serves. And it's a service ace. And now we're at 5-1, game 4.
We're in game 4, and we've seen an awful lot of rallies, a lot of close plays. I think if it goes 5, I think we're going to talk who's in better shape, who's physically trained themselves for this moment in the season.
Bobby Pugh makes one mistake, sets the ball a little bit too high, a little bit too far over the net. Lisa Lukaitis blocks the ball back down for a point. We're now looking at 6-1 here in game 4. Buchanan serve. Lemire with the shot. That's a good shot. Paul Lemire, 5'9" sophomore from Hinckley, Ohio. So she just drilled that. It was a blur on that arm. TJ Horner to serve for Ashland. Ashland trails here, 1-6, game 4. Guidus off the block. It's off. With the dump.
It was a good time for that dump. I don't think Lewis was ready on the block for the setter to throw one down on him.
Backside to come Cannon. She loads up the cannon and fires one long. 3-6. Ashland's making the move. Could the right side syndrome be wearing off? TJ Horner serves.
Looks like it. Looks like they're filling in that hole on the left side.
Mishandled by Davidson. Now, I couldn't really tell from here, Lauren, whether Kazad did not get that ball up high enough or Davidson just did not get the timing down.
I think we have a combination of the both there.
Back outside of Lemire.
Nice dig by Anna Marie.
Titus into the block. Katrina Kazan. Number 3, Tina Linder into the lineup. The serving machine and defensive specials for Sue Martinson's Ashland Eagles. Emery Dorr with the back row kill. Side out to Lewis. Karen Lawton will be serving, leading here in game 4, 6-3. They trail in the match, 1-2. Net violation on number 12, Kim Gervais.
I think that last rotation for Lewis would have been a good one for them to score some points. They had one of their best defensive players in the back row and a big lineup in the front.
Long time for a service error. Paul Lemire serves the ball into the net. Lewis University serves. Service error.
Well,
there's one of those laws. You never have a service error after a service error.
And there's 3 in a row for you. And this is college volleyball, ladies and gentlemen.
Ball tipped long for Kim Gervais. Point to Ashland. They're climbing back into the match. It's now 4-6. Kaza serve.
Outside to Colleen Concannon.
Colleen takes it down the line. It's wide. It's a point. It's 5-6. Ashland's back in the match. Trina Kaza serves. Kim Gervais trying to convert on the back set. It's not successful. We're tied at 6 in game 4.
Well, there's that right side of the court theory gone to shot.
Well, they might have filled in a few of those holes anyway, but this match is not over.
I think we're talking mental holes here. Ashland has filled those mental holes and is ready to take this match if Lewis doesn't do something drastic.
Still serving for Ashland.
Well, speaking of holes, in spite of the fact that it's only 6-6, Lewis has indeed dug themselves a pretty good hole. They have allowed Ashland back into the match mentally when they could have actually had this whole thing under control. We will yet to see, of course, whether or not Ashland can convert on the opportunity. Kaza serves. Colleen Concannon takes that ball off the block. Slide out to Lewis. Number 12, Kim Gervais to serve for the Flyers.
It's a beautiful set by number 6, Katrina.
Great dig. Good rally.
These players have to be tired.
Kazaa a little bit late getting to the ball. Ball was left as a tip. Lewis was planted there waiting for it. They take the lead here in game 4, 7-6. Another tip by Bobby Pugh.
You would think by now that Lewis would recognize where Bobby Pugh is going to tip. Where is she tipped? Probably the last 7 out of 10 times. The right side, right front.
Pugh serves. Lawton with a great set. Ball into the net and not out of the net, and it's a point. 7-7. Game 4, Bobby Pugh. Junior middle blocker to serve. Off the block, not dug. Missy Brown hits the ball into the block. Wasn't covered close enough. And at the lineup for Lewis, number 2, Gina Dale.
Bobby Pugh does a nice job in the backcourt passing.
TJ Horner with a great block. Shot was called good.
Had a little running defense. You and I both thought that was out.
Side out nonetheless to Ashland. 7-7, game 4. Strong serves.
Again, tight pass up to the big girls.
Great save, great save. Ball wide. Point to Ashland. They take the lead in game 4, 8-7. They really stayed with that ball, Warren.
Ashland playing some die-hard defense and just refusing to let the ball hit the ground.
Colleen Concannon takes a shot out of the middle, off the block, and it's a side out. She serves for Lewis University.
They're in trouble.
Gaza gets the ball to Davidson. Cut back shot for a kill. Side out to Ashland. TJ Horner will be serving.
Ashland passing the ball very well right now, and that helps your team tremendously. You can run a good offense, you kind of break down the defense. And vice versa, you have a nice defense that will break your offense.
Lisa Lukaitis drills that ball long. Another point for Ashland. They take the lead 9-7 here, game 4. The lead in the series in the match, 2-1. Anne-Marie Dorr with a great shot, dug well by Jane Strong. Tip. TJ just could not get to the ball in time to dig it. Great shot. Lewis University's passing is really broken down here in the last parts of game 4. They're not passing anything inside the 10-foot line. It makes a big difference.
It really has. Look at Ashland passing the ball right up to there, right where Katrina can do whatever she wants with the ball, and there she sets the middle.
Tina Linder back in the game for Ashland to serve. Ashland leads here, game 4, 9-7. They're leading the match, 2-1. Service error. Karen Lawton, the senior setter.
Here's that nice rotation by Lewis. They should score some points off. Big front row, nice defensive back row. Let's see what they do.
Give the ball, Bobby Pugh, end the discussion.
Then again, there's Bobby Pugh on the other side. Comes back to Ashland passing very well. Makes Bobby Pugh very effective.
Paul Lemire to serve. Off the block. Oh! A great weapon the door put on that one. Great
She
save.
wanted it. She wanted it. Bobby was going for it.
Kaitis serves. That might have been a poor choice.
Yeah, I think now once again, if she would have got the ball in for a kill, what do you say? So it's one of those, hey, if you get it in, we love you. If you hit it out, sub.
Lewis serves.
Let's go to Bobby. And she has one more year left.
Katrina Cazzo to serve. Ashland still leads here in game 4, 9-8. Net violation.
I believe Ashland's had 3 service errors this game, and they've all come within the last 5 minutes.
Pugh sets the ball high in the middle. Again, I'm not sure if I was Sue Martinson, I wouldn't have Castle can back off that thing and set the ball for Bobby Pugh rather than have to put that kind of pressure on Lemire.
Missy Brown.
Great try. Missy Brown again. Score kill. She's playing very, very well. Substitution for Ashland, number 14.
Bobby Pugh to serve.
Lewis Davidson. Bobby Pugh will serve.
Lewis must take advantage right now with Bobby Pugh in the back row. I believe they need to do something. Get a side out here and start playing some defense. There's their side out.
I don't know, Lauren, it fails to escape me why Sue Martinson would continue to allow her middle blockers to set those second balls. But it's gotten her here, so I'm not going to change it now. Service error. 9-9. Game 4.
Lewis needs to take advantage while Bobby Pugh is in the back row.
There's a touch. Side out. Colleen Concannon serves. Missy Brown keeps the ball in play. Lawton outside. Elisa Lukaitis, and the 6-foot freshman buries it. Lewis takes the lead, 10-9, game 4. They trail in the match 2 games to 1.
When you're ready.
TJ Horner rolls that one off the block.
Could be another point for Lewis, converting. Another chance. There's that coverage that we talked about earlier. Just gives you another chance to score a point.
Paul Lemire tries to take that one over the block, finds the net instead. And another point to Lewis, and there's a timeout for Ashland. Lewis takes the lead, 11 points to 9 in game 4.
Ashland's not only letting Lewis get back into this ball game, but Lewis's fans.
Well, just as we commented earlier, Lauren, that the passing of Lewis has broken down there towards the latter stages of game 4. Notice again the passing is broken down for Ashland. They're just a little tentative, not trying to push the ball as close to the net as they were before. But it makes a great deal of difference whether you're setting the ball from 3 feet off the net as opposed to 10 feet off the net.
You don't have as many options when the ball's on the 10-foot line as opposed to 2 feet from the net.
Concannon serves. Davidson's tip didn't fool anybody. Ball never cleared the net. Net violation on Lisa Lukaitis. Side out to Ashland. TJ Horner back to serve.
Lineup. Check the lineup.
Referee Bob Michael asking for a lineup check. And everything's fine. Horner serves. Off the block. Great shot by Pugh. Well, she is just everywhere. Castle just couldn't get the ball high enough for Davidson to do anything with it.
Little inexperience by the freshman setter. Again, Lewis still has Bobby Pugh in the back row. Let's take advantage of that, or let's let her back up in front row.
Lisa Lukaitis hits that ball wide. Katrina Castle got away with a poor tip on that last one. Renee Davidson serves the ball, strong serve.
Great first pass by Ashland. Even better defense. Big block.
Boy, Bobby Pugh is up there putting shingles on him again. What a roof. I don't even think she jumped on him. She just reached her arms up and put that ball down. There it is again. Net violation and a point. And Ashland's right back in it. 11-11, game 4. And Ashland leads in this match 2-1.
Bobby Pugh gets back in the front row right away. They score 2 points. She's kind of catalyst to Ashland front row.
Dorr gets the ball wide. And you can see Lodge trying to get the ball to the senior captains. See if they can get the rally stopped. It hasn't worked yet. It's now 12-11. Ashland back in command. Game 4. That was a good choice on Lawton's part, trying to get that ball to Dorr, but I think it kind of surprised her.
Yeah, I think it did. And one thing that she's trying to do is avoid that big middle blocker as she hits. With that in your mind, you don't need that extra thing to take away from your concentration. You need to go up swinging at the ball and not worrying about getting blocked.
Renee Davidson, 6-foot freshman middle blocker from Holland, Ohio, to serve. Ashland leads 12-11. That's the difference between a freshman and a senior, I suppose. Well, she just blasted that ball.
And there's another good time not to serve a ball out.
Outside to Lanier, she takes it off the block.
Chance to convert for a point.
Lawton tries to find Beth Lomar on the backside. It doesn't work. Paul Lemire will be serving for Ashland. 12-11, game 4. Oh, goodness. It's a long time for Kim Gervais to try a shot like that.
Lewis is really starting to pick up their passing, but the hitters can't seem to find the court.
Outside to Lomar, it falls for a point. We're looking at the match right now. 14-11, Paul Lemire. She's played a wonderful match to serve for the game and the match. A long time to miss pass the ball.
I think
Outside,
we see a nice match
Brown.
by both teams.
Off the block, there's the point, there's the match to Ashland University. And they overcome the right side syndrome. They win game 4, 15-11. They win the match over Lewis, 3-1. Lauren, that's the first time in, I believe, the history of the GLVC that Lewis University will not be in the finals.
Yes, I believe that's true. They've been a very strong team in the past, and this year didn't look like they were strong enough to pull off a very mentally and physically strong Ashland team. I'm very, very impressed by Ashland's game tonight, and wish them best of luck tomorrow.
Well, I think this has been a remarkable year for Ashland University. They've done a very nice job offensively and defensively throughout the entire season, being very consistent top to bottom. The mainstay of their whole team, of course, is Bobby Pugh, but again, tonight is a good example of the fact that volleyball is a team sport, and other people helped pick up the slack along the way. Lanai Davidson did a nice job. Missy Brown did a great job. Paul Lemire was just outstanding down the stretch. You just can't say enough of these kids jumping in there and doing what they got to do to win this thing. And they will certainly prove to be a worthy opponent tomorrow afternoon for the championships in the Great Lakes Valley Conference.
It's going to be an exciting match tomorrow in the finals. Ashland versus either Bellarmine College or IPFW. And we'll probably have that winner within a couple hours.
Bellarmine College comes in here off of a very strong road trip this last weekend. They're playing very, very well. It's the best team that Bellarmine has ever been able to field. It's the first time they've been actually in the semifinals for the GLVC Volleyball Championships. And this will certainly be a match that we're going to look forward to broadcasting and watching and enjoying throughout the entire evening. We are at IPFW are pleased to bring you a cablecast of athletic competition. We hope you've enjoyed the games and the excitement of intercollegiate sports this fall at IPFW. To provide such programs, however, we need your support. With the help of student workers and volunteers, we're able to produce these programs at a relatively low cost. but your contribution will help to defray the production costs not covered by the university budget. We'd like to have you be a member of College Cable Access at IPFW, and we invite you to invest in quality college programming by sending your contribution to the College Cable Access Center at Indiana University, Purdue University of Fort Wayne, 46805-1499. Make your check out to Indiana Purdue Foundation at Fort Wayne and designate it for College Cable Access Athletics. And we've got wall-to-wall athletics here at IPFW on College Cable Access all winter and spring. And we're looking forward to a lot of fun and games throughout the rest of this match this evening and matches tomorrow. And of course, basketball and volleyball this fall and spring. I'd like to have you stay tuned for the other semifinal match, the second semifinal match that we'll be bringing you this evening on College Cable Access Channel 6. That match will be starting at 8 o'clock. And certainly now it's time for you to go get your Pepsi real quick and get back here.